Hey guys, Coach Dan here. We made it last workout of the week, so we've got our pull workout today. I tell you what, I am jacked up after yesterday. Legs, stiff-legged deadlifts, leg press, split squats. Oh, Jesus, that's a tough workout. So tough, in fact, that I couldn't complete that one yesterday. That doesn't often happen to me. That's what they all say. But yeah, back it up today, feeling a bit better. So smash out this back workout. This is the last workout of the week, so we'll get into it and we'll smash it out. So today, back biceps, I got some little bit of lateral delt work that I kind of slip into this day just because I want a little bit more volume for the lateral delt. So I kind of throw it on this day. And that's that. This will be the Saturday workout. It's a quiet gym, early morning, cold, frosty, all the good stuff, keeping the people away. So what else I got for the great people at home? No, that's about it. Let's just keep smashing it out. Hopefully the energy levels hold up a little better than they did yesterday. But yeah, pretty happy with how yesterday went. Some heavy stiff-legged deadlifts. Got a goal of mine, which was to get 185 times 10, so that's pretty sweet. Happy with that. And yeah, pushed so hard on the leg press, failed. Came back down on me, had to squirm out of there. So no, it's good to know you're pushing hard. I thought I was crushing it, and then it just died in the ass. So all right, that's it. Nothing else. The grind goes on. Stay on the grind, stay on the drive, stay on the whatever the kids say, and let's go to our first movement of the day, some sort of row. All right, first movement today is a chest-supported row. So when we do this particular back workout, we start movements that are more trying to work the upper back or more biased towards the upper back. That's how we start this workout, and then we work to lats after. Whereas the earlier pulling day of the week, it starts with lats and then works to upper back. And again, that might be a minor detail and not meaningful at all, but may as well. It means both those muscle groups of the back, both those muscles of the back get work when I'm fully fresh. So it's a chest-supported row, neutral grip. Now, the important thing to keep in mind let's talk about the traps specifically, is that one of their main job is retracting the shoulder blades. So when we get on a chest-supported row, what we can do is we can let our shoulder blades protract over the pad and then retract backwards. Also, what you'll notice about rows that are sort of targeted towards the upper back is that the arm is a little bit further away from the body. So if we want to make it more about the lats, we keep the arm nice and close. Upper back, if we pull with the arm a little bit further away from the body, the whole shoulder and upper back starts to do a little bit more work here. So with this one, I got my grips. So I'll strap in, so grips are non-issue. Lock in, chest on the pad, bring the weight back, roll over the chest pad, pull the shoulders back, roll over, pull the shoulders back. So again, using the chest pad to let the shoulders or shoulder blades protract over the top and then squeeze them really hard at the back to make it nice and upper backy, nice and trappy. If we're thinking about the traps specifically, again, they'll do multiple functions. And today when I do different movements, you'll see like they're all, they all could be comparable. But if I change my position a little bit, it kind of changes the direction in which I pull and therefore what I'm focusing on. So this one's kind of coming horizontally. Other variations go slightly up, other variations go slightly down, and then we use the different components of our upper back, potentially. Potentially, this one exercise does them all, and that's, I could just do all my sets on this and not worry about that, but I'm doing it just to tick all the boxes that, this works a particular part, that, and then that work other parts, and when I get to the end of my time here on this planet, hopefully the creator will say I've done a good thing. All right, let's hit it. Come on. All right, neutral grip row done. This is going to be another chest supported row. This is a new one to me, Cybex plate loaded row. So if, again, same idea, thinking about the upper back, kind of that one has this kind of horizontally pulling component. This one kind of comes up a little bit, so potentially focusing on a little bit more of the upper traps or towards the upper traps, maybe not. You know, if you think about traps, they kind of shrug, they do, you know, just behind the shrug, retraction of the shoulder blades, depression of shoulder blades, all this kind of stuff. So this one's probably going to be a little bit higher as far as what the target is. Now, I'm still figuring this one out as I go, to be honest. This is the first time I will have used this machine. To mix it up a little bit, I'm going to take an overhand grip, where over there it was a neutral grip. So it'll be this one here. I'll bring the weight back with me, sit down, get my chest support, pull, and you can see that kind of scoop up. Let it all still roll forward. All right, so that felt good as is. I might do my first set at that setting, and then if I have any reason to change, I'll change. If not, I'll note down the setting for each time I come back. I don't have to think about it each time, and not thinking is a good thing. All right, let's try it out, see how it feels. Okay, moving on. So, quick little summary on that row variation, the overhand. I didn't quite love that one. So that's, again, I had kind of played around on that one a little bit before. And there's just something that's not quite, doesn't feel quite right. Like maybe it's too wide or something doesn't feel quite right. Like I can really, you know, use what I'm trying to use on that, and I can't exactly figure out why. There is a neutral grip there, but yeah, neither of them feel fantastic on that one. So I'm not sure if that one makes the cut going forward, especially because the seated row version. I think what that has going for it is the chest support, which the other seated row does not have. But again, all in all on that one, at least I can really feel my back squeeze. I can set my hand position depending on what I want, all that kind of stuff. So ultimately, you know, normally I'd give things a bit of a run, but I don't think that one's absolutely necessary to give too much time. Okay, moving on. So we use this row on our other pull workout for a single arm variation. Today, we're going to use it to challenge the upper back, and I'll show you how we do that. And we're going to position ourselves such that we lean forward. So on this day, I'm mixing things up a little bit, see? On this day, I've been doing a pull down version. Now the goal is to try and get some depression of the scapula. So you think about the scapula as being, you know, those blades or shoulder blades, we kind of want to rotate them down. So if we think about getting into a position, we kind of want to line the resistance up with what we're trying to work. So if I stay upright, it looks different than if I lean forward. And if I lean forward, if you imagine then my scapulars come forward, but the resistance still comes from this way. So we can kind of work that bottom part of the traps, all right, or the lower traps, and that's the goal on this one. Now again, I have not done this before, pretty much, so this is going to be a little bit of a test round today to see if it's good, but essentially we're going to set up with both handles, overhand, and we're going to lean forward into it. And I'm just also trying to figure out how far I do want to lean. So I'll figure that out as we go. I have to figure out our weight, rep range. I'm thinking, 10 to 15-ish. And yeah, I suppose the big kicker is here, different from this, you might not be able to see that very well, but on the lat, when we use this for a single arm lat, we're going neutral grip, so palm facing towards my midline. Here I'm going overhand grip, so letting my arms come away from my body. I'm leaning forward such that I want to feel that lower part of the traps. So leaning forward and feeling that lower part of the traps as I squeeze. But I'm just trying to figure it out as we go. So take a couple of sets here to find our weight. I'll kind of learn a little bit where the positioning I want to be, and then we will go from there. We went 1 out of 2 for those new rowing movements. The first new one I didn't feel so flash hot, but that one was quite good. So leaning forward, trying to make sure it's the lower traps, mid to lower traps that are getting work there. So we lean forward into it, kind of row along the same path as the resistance, but because we move, changes the part of our back that lines up with the resistance. So that was good, that'll stay. The other one probably won't. Now we move into the more lat dominated work. So we have the single arm pull down to start off with. So you could use, there's a machine here for this, but you could do this on a cable machine where you roll a bench over and set this kind of thing up. So it feels really effective. So essentially, grab the handle like such. Nice big reach out, stretch the lat, line up with it, pull. So it's not coming directly from above or horizontal, it's kind of somewhere in between that, and just another way to challenge your lats from a different position. A lot of the back training that I do, that's kind of things that you just tweak a little bit, different hand position, different angle slightly to make sure we're just training everything well overall. All right, going good, let's keep going. Come on, you little pussy. All right, I'm starting to wilt like a flower, so I'm gonna have to refocus, get switched back on. We've got one back exercise and we've got shoulders and arms to finish. So this is my unique cable flexion row. So I put this in the lat category, but also the whole back will work a little bit on this one because I actively flex the spine. So I take a neutral grip, the narrow one, could be shoulder width or anything like that. Here, under control, let the spine flex, big stretch in the lat, pull, stretch, pull. So yeah, a couple winners for this one is a massive lat stretch and also actively flexing the whole spine, which I don't really do on any other exercises, so I get to use those muscles that flex, or more so extend the spine and then let it stretch out via the flexion of the spine. So feels really effective. Last back exercise of the week. Essentially, kind of gets a little bit of everything, but again, in the lat category, rowing nice and tight, feeling the lats as much as possible, and that, yeah, that big stretch in that position there feels really good. Give it a whirl. Okay, back done. Now on this day as well, I sneak in a lateral deltoid exercise because there's not really too many other spots to put it, and I want to increase my frequency to increase my volume for the lateral deltoid. So on both my push days, I have a lateral deltoid exercise, targeted lateral deltoid. Other exercises would use it as well, but these are targeted ones. And then because, well, this is really the only other opportunity. I suppose I could do it on a lower body day here and there, but it just makes the most sense. So if I go push on Monday, push on Thursday, I get some lateral deltoid work in there. This is now Saturday, pull, the final one of the week. And I also get a lateral deltoid exercise on this day. And it's this funky looking machine lateral raise. So this is a Med-X machine lateral raise, quite unique, quite old school looking. Never seen it before. You know, I've never seen it anywhere else basically. So, but very, very effective. The angle and the path of the raise here is such that it feels really, really good. So it kind of angles out, maybe it's not, close to 40-ish degrees out this way, not directly out to the side. So you see the lateral raises where they've got like the things here and they go directly out to the side. This angles a little bit in front, and I think that's quite effective for the lateral delt. But again, all other cues are the same. Driving out using that delt, control the way in with that delt, drive out again. Diligent with that technique, focus on what we want to work. Beautiful, beautiful machine. Chef's kiss for that one. Now what I did last week to save a little bit of time is I supersetted this with my preacher curl, which I'll do today as well. in a gym that's nice and cool. It's a nice way to stay warm and get warmed up. So let's go have a look at that before we go into our first working set. Okay, here is the machine preacher curl that I'm doing today. This is a Cybex one. And there's a couple here, 1, 2, 3. They've got a preacher curl bench to do free weight versions as well, but I like this one. I like the machines because it's easy to get in there and get started. And when you're doing sessions that are already pretty long, it's good to save some time where you can. And if they feel similarly effective, happy days. There would be some people who would claim that resistance curves of machine like this are not ideal, but feels effective to me, and so I'm rolling with it. So nothing to it. I still use the hand grips or wrist straps for this. Probably not absolutely necessary, but save my grip where possible. Curl, lengthen everything out, stretch the bicep out as much as possible. Stretch, curl. So something to keep in mind that's potentially a bit contradictory as far as what I say surrounding training muscles in length and position. The fact that the bicep is a muscle that kind of passes into and attaches on the scapula would mean that fully stretching out would have it behind the level of the body. But again, when a couple of different studies on this and versus like an incline dumbbell curl kind of suggest that they might work different areas of the bicep. So potentially doing both has value. It feels effective to me. So I do them. I do one on the other day where I do a funky lying dumbbell curl and then preacher curl on this day. And again, across time, you can do single arm variation. Again, you would choose, like, if you have a rationale to do something, a decent rationale, and it feels good to you, that's almost enough, you know, like, yeah, people bang on about what's perfect or what's optimal, but it's just like, simply, you know, it feels effective to you. It generally speaking works that muscle group overall. You don't have to get too much more complex than that. Sometimes, like, you know, I might challenge things from different positions or different angles and stuff like that, but ultimately that stuff is probably minor compared to trying hard enough, putting in good effort, being consistent, all that kind of stuff. And then it's just a little bit of preference and maybe a little bit more to it than that. But again, they're probably not the big rocks. The big rocks, training hard, training enough, being consistent. You tick those off and then, yeah, you can do things for preference sake sometimes. All right, so superset. So this here, I may as well start here, I suppose. This here, I'll walk over back to that lateral raise. There may be about 20 meters between the two, and this and that walk serves as the rest for that, and the walk serves as the rest for this. So we're getting a little bit of rest, but also they work different muscles, so I can go back to back and them not affect each other too much, and I save a stack of time, which I'm a big fan of, because, you know, sometimes you got to get out of here and do other stuff with your life. So, all right, let's do this superset and move on. Come on. Alright, that's a wrap on the workout, guys. I am plumb tuckered out after that one. Woo. So a couple little tweaks in there to the program. One will carry on, one probably not. So a couple of those rowing movements for the upper back. One worked, one didn't. So now we know. One felt good, and one we shall leave for someone else. I'm knackered actually. So big week worth of training. Just wrapping it up on a big Saturday workout. So back, shoulders, come into this one as well. And yeah, time to have a little rest over the rest of the weekend and then get reset for next week. So try and get a couple of good night's sleeps in over the weekend, good food as usual. And then try and, get to next week and keep this ball rolling. I am not too far off a vacation, but I'll still train on that vacation. So that is something. It'll have to change because the equipment and stuff like that will be a little bit different. So workouts will vary. But even when on vacation or holiday, I still like to train. It's quite fun to me. So get a new setup. Sometimes that's a bit fresh. A couple of new exercise tweaks. That's a bit fresh. That's fun. Usually I eat a bit more food on holidays. So it's probably a good thing to continue to training. But then after that, we hit a fat loss phase for about 10 weeks. So that'll be pretty cool. And I feel like, the last, 6 months or so worth of training has been really productive. So then to hit a fat loss phase after that to kind of reveal the hard work, that's kind of the goal of this whole bodybuilding thing. Oh, excuse me. All right, let's get out of here. As always, guys, hit the little subscribe man up here. It'd be really appreciated. There's a playlist with all my other workouts up here so you can see how I'm training different muscle groups. And as always, it's about progress over perfection. Coach Dan, signing off.